Welcome to the Paul Has Fun podcast. I'm Paul, and on this podcast, I dig into my hobbies. I also document my life and interests. Thank you so much for spending time with me.
Welcome back to the podcast, or if this is your first time here, welcome. Jason G and myself and other friends, we've been going to the movies and we've been recording these podcasts. My idea was to go ahead and put one episode together that had almost 2 hours worth of these reviews, but it's July, and work has been a little busy, so I've just been editing things a little bit at a time, and it's taking forever. So I'm just going to start parsing out the reviews that we've done in pieces, and that's what this episode is. This is Monkey Man by Dev Patel. We're going to go ahead and get into it in a moment as we march towards the end of season 6. And I have some nebulous idea of the seasons, right? But it's already been a year since the beginning of season 6. So season 6 is going to be ending soon. We're going to start season 7 very soon. But expect several movie reviews in the coming weeks. Before we start, as always, want to hear any and all of your feedback on the blog at paulhasfun.com or wherever you may be listening or watching this. Please support the podcast by doing any or all of your shopping through the Amazon link in the show notes. You'll find that same Amazon prices. Just when you shop through that link, we get a little kickback here. Or if you enjoy this content and want to support me, hit the PayPal link and you can leave a donation there. Let's go ahead and get into it. We just came out of seeing Monkey Man. I'm here with Jason G, Mike G, alumni here at the podcast. And we are at the Alamo Drafthouse, the one downtown, like around the wall. Yeah, Liberty Street, Wall Street area. Dev Patel's their directorial debut. He actually also helped write the script. I was looking for him. Yeah.
Produced it.
Yeah.
He didn't shoot it, but he can't. There's just only so many things you could do, and he started it, obviously.
Oh, guys, what do you think?
Interesting movie.
It was very well
Action-packed.
Action-packed. So much meat from the beginning to the end.
I think a lot of people will say this is like the Indian John Wick, but I think it has a different feel than John Wick, and I'm glad, because if it's exact copy, it wouldn't be as good. But this is a different feel. I hope this gives him a lot more exposure than ever before. And there's his first starring role that really puts him out there in the U.S. anyway, since Slumdog Millionaire. Now people know his name more, right? I think so. Yeah, let's see where this goes. I think generally it's a fun movie. I think it won't go all the way to 100 million, but I say it'll get to 80 million, maybe worldwide. What do you think?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts. So. Do you have any more time? We're going to go a couple rounds.
To me, this movie is like the Bollywood for the alpha male. You just go with a bunch of friends. You don't take anything seriously, but it's just a fun, enjoyable movie.
Cool. It's a revenge fantasy.
It's definitely a revenge fantasy.
Yeah. It's a revenge fantasy. It's the third act, especially. It goes from this revenge movie to then the third act is just this crazy kung fu movie,
Yeah.
Which, like I said,
it was bonkers.
It was crazy and very violent, more violent than you expect it to be. And it's weird because there was I just noticed it kind of walking back and forth. There were a lot of women in the theater too. So yeah. I mean, Dev Patel is a handsome man. He's probably attracting the women as well.
Sure.
And I didn't see them kind of being squeamish or maybe that's a stereotype in my mind, but I didn't see them being kind of squeamish or being kind of
I think nowadays. I'm sorry to cut you.
No, go. All three of us are on.
I think nowadays they have I think they're more used to it because stuff on cable. A lot of females love to watch The Walking Dead, and that's very gory, right? So
yeah,
things are it's more tolerable than if you put this out in the 70s. It might have been on the the video nasties list. Who knows?
Video nasty. I like that. Yeah.
They had this bunch of movies that were banned in England, and they were called the video nasties. Evil Dead was on that list. But I think nowadays people are more used to the gore. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No.
Continue.
No. This movie was originally a Netflix movie. They gave him the money to make the movie. They made it. He made it. Netflix wasn't happy about it. They didn't want to put it out. Jordan Peele eventually, he ended up seeing it. And he was like, this is great, I want to put this out. He helped produce it, in terms of become a producer on it, and helped to get it sold to Universal, for $10 million. And that's how the movie came to be, how we got to see it here. For the opening weekend, it made actually around 10 to 12 million domestic. Worldwide, I don't have that in front of me. The movie was fun. If I have criticisms, the action, the camera work of the action sometimes was too much. It was too
Yeah,
bouncy. And
I was
too
going
all
to say
over the place.
there's too many close-ups.
What was that Born Identity movie where everything was just like the camera was
boring,
crazy? It's like, what is happening?
Identity,
And that wasn't like that in every scene. But on the flip side, that was the criticism, like with the camera work. But on the flip side, there was some really like beautiful shots. There's a shot where in the third act, he's on top of a bar, and the backlight of the bar, and while he's finding it, that looks super cool.
Oh yeah, very nice.
And also,
beautiful.
being influenced by his roots, I'm assuming, a lot of kind of Indian culture and stuff about the Hanuman and the monkey man and the dresses and the look and the feel and like really kind of being in India. And you could feel the poverty in watching the movie, how people are just kind of sleeping on top of each other. So the movie, the times I felt this could be shorter, altogether it was a fun ride. It was a lot of fun. You know, it was very enjoyable, very satisfying. And they set up, I felt, the villains, especially the main one being Rana, they set him up very well for you to dislike him. And if you get that feeling, the movie's doing its job.
And one thing that the movie hits upon is like the cast system. Like I read the book Cast, which like won the Pulitzer Prize. This like touches upon just the different casts, like how they look down on people, how they point out that they're so disposable. And that's a very real thing. That's not Hollywood. That's very real. Yeah.
And did you feel that you saw that in the movie?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
I love that.
Definitely. Like that's part of India's culture. Like that's a big. Like you can't talk about that country without having the caste system. And we saw that when we worked at the Hilton, when like the Air India stayed there, and the captain had to stay on the floor above the, co-captain. Like they, like that's
good
very real.
Good observation.
That's something I pick up. Like that's on my mind. Like, but yeah, no, like you said, it's funny. This movie had about as much blood as that Evil Dead movie. Like, but it was one of these movies you don't take seriously.
No, it's a fantasy.
Yeah,
because like another criticism I would have had is the amount of abuse he takes, and he just seems kind of like I'm pretty. You can still. I'm Dev Patel. I'm handsome.
I feel like John Wick was like out of control. I think this was even worse. He just gets shot and he just comes right back. Come on. This is time to recover from like all these. And I love how he fights like 3 guys in one night. Like, come on.
And like the upgrade from like, okay, like he's getting his ass kicked on purpose, but then later he God mode. And it's like, I'm ready to, I'm John Wick now. I went from like, the Weebox to the Reeboks real quick. You know what I mean?
And they even, in the beginning of the movie, when he gets that new job in the club, in the kitchen, they even mention John Wick by name, right? Which is
ridiculous.
But first, when you said you read the book, what was the book you read? I thought you were saying, I read the book Monkey Man. This is a pretty good adaptation of the book. But no. I'm thinking, but yeah, it's just like we're hearing Kim's video in the Alamo, Lower Manhattan. There's a lot of exploitation movies and like that kind of over the top violence, and this very much plays into that. Like
100%.
You have it knows what it is. It doesn't take itself too seriously, which is fun. It's good. Yeah, and I like how everyone at the end like shows up with all those masks on and. That's now logically. There's a little thing too.
About logic. This is a revenge fantasy.
Exactly.
It totally goes out the
I think
door.
Quentin Tarantino would be proud of this movie. The cut,
This is very I could see him liking this movie from what we know about him.
Yes.
But
one of the things I was thinking, like at the very end when he takes the elevator up, another great shot when that elevator door opens and the red background.
That's in the poster.
He's in the trailer in the poster too.
Yeah.
That's wonderful, beautiful. Talking about logic or lack of logic, when he goes up to that top floor and that guru's like in this pool, where were his bodyguards? He's there alone.
Wished him away.
It's just going to be 1-on-1. I mean,
but he's the final boss.
He went to the final level, right?
Exactly. We're their friend.
You made it this far.
And then I love him pleading in the end. I have spoilers here.
Yeah, that was good. That was
I'll
funny.
give you whatever you want.
Yeah,
all the time.
That was so funny. You were laughing.
That's what I'm saying. Like those classic tropes in action movies, they never get old. You know what I mean?
And then I was telling Michael, because you had gone to the restroom afterwards, but about how great that chief of police is as a bad guy. He's so good.
And then
you hate him.
And then his fist like thunder every time. Whoa!
And he has like that little area in his like.
And like his mother like cut him, but they never really showed like what she cut exactly. Like it looks like maybe she cut him here or something. That's the one thing. It's just like some shots were just too like I'm like right here by Gunny's face. It's just like dude, like I can't see what's going on kind of thing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Another thing, like they didn't go too much into the political thing. remember how they said, "Oh, we have to find this guy because he could overturn our whole election," and then they didn't really show how this one guy is like affecting all the voters.
Yeah.
They did mention that, but I don't know.
You're talking about that. I felt, especially the scenes when he was like the montage when he starts to train, them showing clips of real life, I'm assuming, India, like things happening in India. I think they were trying, and then like there was signage about like
I'm sure
being
there's
a Muslim and stuff. I'm sure that there was like a message in there like, about India, like talking about like the realities of India.
Too much
but it just
fighting
didn't
between-
really super go into it. And
Right,
I
right.
just like I
Yeah,
had
touch
no
upon it
idea.
just a little bit,
yeah,
yeah.
like what is it that he was talking about? And I don't know if I wanted more of that, but I would like to know. I guess it's
Like a
something
little
I have
bit-
to
little
Google
bit,
on my own.
yeah.
What is it that he was trying to tell here? You know what I mean? By showing this footage and like people getting beat up by other people, like in real life kind of thing, So I was just curious about that.
And then one thing I also wanted, like him and his fighting, at the ring. I wish that was tied up a little more with the other story because it seemed like
Separate.
a
separate?
little,
Yeah.
like with the editing. Maybe I don't know if they could have tied that a little bit more together.
Do you feel like it was like two separate movies almost?
A little bit feeling like that, yeah. Because remember he was like, "Oh, go to this place and bet on the other guy because the monkey's gonna lose or whatever because I'm gonna fight him." And then they didn't really show the connection too much. And then after he trains, they show him going back there and he's like kicking everyone's ass because he's stronger now.
Is it leveled up?
But but it's okay. I mean, it's still good. Do you know? Did you read if they re-edited it or redid the sound or redid anything?
That I
or was
don't
it
know.
just the way it was and he just bought it? You're not sure. Okay.
No, that I don't know.
But for $10 million, that's a bargain, I think, because if you have the Universal promoting this in their big promotion machine that they have, hitting all the line and whatever on. However you see ads for it, and get it out to a bunch of theaters, it made $10 million in like a day.
But this movie came out like if in the top
Oh,
5.
Okay.
This movie came out above the first Omen.
Wow.
This movie did.
Yeah.
Above the what?
Like above the first Omen, and there were new
Oh.
releases
Word of
this
mouth
week.
and
Yeah,
proper advertising.
this movie. I mean, box office worldwide. We'll see how it does. But what I heard is that it cost like Netflix gave him $12 million to make it. And then they sold it to Universal, like I said, for 10. So the movie's gonna maybe the first week it's already at somewhere around that range.
So Netflix actually took a hit of $2 million.
No, but
Yeah,
they'll
they
recover
did.
it in the long run.
No, they're
right,
recovering.
exactly.
And
In
that's
the
a whole
long
other conversation. I don't know why Netflix isn't because
They
they
get
can really
residuals from.
At least they didn't, like,
DVD
throw it
sales,
out.
They get, from all,
that too.
yeah,
but
right
I'm just saying.
yeah.
I was about to say this like, why doesn't Netflix release their movies in the movie theaters?
Right.
Yeah.
I also
just
thought this
like-
movie should have.
They did it like just for a little bit, just so it could get officially for like 2 weeks in the theater, 1 week, so it could get
Yeah,
like nominated
exactly.
in their
Yeah.
one theater, the Paris theater, or whatever, and
Right.
then they just drop it on their
Exactly.
Netflix.
They
But
can.
they
They
should
make,
really.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they have their reasons. A layman, like I said, I don't know all the business things. One would think, like, hey, you're going to make money at the movie theater, and then you're going to make money, like maybe getting more subscribers onto Netflix.
yeah.
But it would also just help out the movie theaters,
Yeah,
which is struggling
absolutely.
because that's why they're doing all these outside the box things like concert movies and this and that, and bringing back Spider-Man and Star Wars because there's no movies because of the strike and a bunch of other stuff. There's not a lot of releases for this year.
At least they didn't throw it out like HBO Max did, Warner Brothers did with that Batgirl movie.
But then, I don't, like I said, we don't know because it could have honestly been that bad.
I think this
You know what I
movie
mean?
should have cast P. Diddy with all the sex trafficking.
Oh, my gosh.
trafficking,
Yes.
I'm not allowed to say that. Mike, we love you and we will stay with you on this one. Absolutely.
So how about scores? You want to do scores?
Yeah, like for me, this was a solid 7. Like I said, my main issue was the camera work.
Yeah.
And it's weird because that's a great analogy you made about the two movies because it's kind of like one part, like the final act was a lot clearer and he's like fighting with guys and it looks super cool. But then like the first part, like the action, like in that bathroom scene, you feel it and it's going on. The sound is great. Yeah. But then it's
Very
just
good.
so up close that I can't tell what's going on. And
Right.
the focus in the camera, and like sometimes the flashbacks, like the focusing of the camera, like it's too blurry, and then it's just like, oh, dude, come on.
So it's funny that
I
you
think it
guys
could
are
have been
talking
shorter,
about
too.
that because there's a Canadian slasher movie that's out right now. It's getting a lot of buzz. Have you heard of it? Called Of a Violent Nature.
Oh,
so
no.
where they
Mike's a
show you
cinephile.
no,
Mike's
but
a
I am.
cinephile. Surprising,
I'm going to show you the
More
trailer.
reason,
Like
yeah.
I have to show the trailer because they show it from a different angle than other horror movies. So it's been getting really
What's
good
it called?
reviews. of a violent nature.
Oh,
I'll show
violent
it to you.
nature, okay.
Put it in the group chat. Put it in the Facebook Messenger.
And what's your score?
Yeah, I give it
I
a
give it
7.
8. I give it 8.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
I thought,
really?
like, yeah, just I like movies that from the beginning they don't like start off slow and then they gradually pick up. It's like being on a roller coaster where you just the minute you get on, it's like you know what you're in for. Like there's all these like drops and all this, and I just love that. You don't take anything serious. I think even like just like life gets stressful between work. I work insane hours, like just crazy. It's like it's nice to go to the movie theater and just enjoy like a hilarious.
And that's
like,
what this was.
action movie.
Yeah.
Did you feel like it was too long?
Not
Or do you think-
it did, yeah. I mean, I
not.
can understand.
Or
Like,
not.
no. Like, it could have maybe like 15 minutes, like 20 minutes shorter. But I mean, it wasn't that bad.
Like it's weird. Like I felt it was too long, but nothing felt wasted.
Right.
But
Right,
you
right.
could have slimmed it
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But Jay, what is your
I'd
score?
say 7.5, which is I think the same score I gave Godzilla vs. Kong, the new Godzilla and Kong, the New Empire. Not to compare them, but I just remember that's what I gave that last week or 2 weeks ago that we saw.
Oh, that's last week.
That was last week. Oh wow. Yeah, and then the one other thing I was going to say, the soundtrack was very good. You know, the music, not only the songs. You know, not every song was perfect, but a lot of good. You know, club music, Indian music, and even the how do you say the score? Like is also was pretty good. I like that the sound mixing, the everything. You know, was very good. Like you said, the fighting and everything was it was very well done that way. You know, his short friend in the restaurant. I wish he had a bigger role because he was funny. I think they could have used him more. The two of them, you know, had good chemistry together. So he was kind of funny. First, you didn't like him. You thought he was going to be exploiting Dev Patel's character, treating him really badly. But then once he told him about putting money on this fight, then they became friends. And you know, he was just a funny character. I thought that they put him. I wish they would put him in a little more. But anyway, it was a good movie overall. It was fun.
I think this movie proved with Dev Patel, like he could be the leading man. Like
Yeah,
I can
absolutely.
see that. Like,
Absolutely.
To me, like he is 20 times more entertaining than watching somebody like George Clooney, who I can't stand, who I think is a douche.
Dev Patel. He had good intensity.
Go watch Slumdog Millionaire again. A lot of fun. And we'll see you at the movies. Happy birthday, Mike.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Jason.
Hey,
Jason,
yes.
Much, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Just adding on to your points, so you felt like that character wasn't in it, like he could have been in the movie more, like that friend character. But then the people who help him later, they just kind of were brought in, and you just don't know what's going on.
Yeah, right.
And
That's
they were
the
like
fun-
some cross-dresser trans people,
Yeah.
which is fine. But
Right.
it's like, who are these people again?
They're supposed to be like outcasts, like they've been
Right,
banished
but
to
they
this,
could have
like,
Thank you.
introduced
This is
them
why we
a
have
little
these
before.
discussions, because
They
like,
should
if
have.
you saw something I didn't,
They could have talked about their backstory a little bit more, just like a couple more.
because they really all those characters. They ended up helping him. Like
Right,
that,
I know.
that
in their
character.
culture,
and
they're
that
like the lowest of the low. So like they've been told like outcasts. It's almost like people like.
Which
like
is why he was
leprosy.
safe there, because he was like the
exactly.
untouchables. It's like the
He's
police don't even bother going
exactly.
there.
That's like Jason said, the untouchables. People were like lepers. They would banish them to like an island, and like they would never judge because their whole life they've been judged.
That's good.
You know,
Oh,
yeah.
dude, thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I said, you're educating me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, boys, that's it.
Oh,
great.
This
And
one,
then-
Jason, go. Like we actually did record this one. This
Next-
one didn't,
Don't miss next year's sequel to Monkey Man, which is going to be Monkey Man versus the
Godzilla.
Iron Monkey. It's going to be with Jet Li and Dev Patel,
Yeah.
Jackie Chan.
Does Jet Li still act? Does he still act?
No.
I think Jet Li and
He
Jackie
retired.
Chan are retired.
They're kind of retired.
Yeah. Their
And,
bodies.
senior one.
Maybe they're going to do like a voiceover,
Yeah.
Anyway, good to see you guys.
But Jason, thank you for putting this together.
It was a lot of fun.
I'm glad
Thank
you
you
guys
for the
came.
movie, Jason. Thank
Absolutely.
you so much.
Glad you guys can make it.
Thank you.
Because I
I
had
wanna
these
give you guys
tickets
some
that were
food.
going to expire in June, so
Yeah.
we might as well use it. So, and it was crowded. Right? The whole thing was sold
yeah.
out.
Dude, I couldn't believe it. Like, I was like, who wants to come see Monkey Man on a Tuesday?
Yo.
No.
But like, this shit was crowded.
This
Yeah,
is
man,
crazy.
That's it.
Definitely, we
Monkey
should
Man.
do this again before the year is over.
Yeah, of course.
How many? So, what do you think for Halloween? How many Monkey Mans are they going to
Oh,
do?
yeah.
That's
I mean, Colin does come out this movie too. This
Yeah.
one too.
If anyone tries to be Monkey Man, you got to look at their hands. Did they do the hands right? You know, because he burnt the hands.
Yeah,
Gotta do
The hands,
this.
the
He
hands
needs to get a
rough.
baseball bat and put metal spikes around it.
Barbed wire around it, right?
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I will catch you on the next one.